Josh, we had a very softly spoken Sophie and Dakute today. Are we expecting more aggression in the ring on Saturday night?
Yeah, I think so. It might be soft-natured away from boxing, so you can't really look too much into that. Obviously, I think it's something new to him. It's a big challenge ahead of him, so might be feeling it a little bit. I tell you what, it sounds beautiful though. There's a French language, doesn't it? When it's said. I mean, he won't say more than 2 or 3 words, but when he did speak, it nice to listen to.
You alluded to some complacency in the Galahad build-up. What's different this time against a lesser name?
I think it just gave everyone a kick up the arse in our team. I think obviously we talked so much about get through Galahad and that's it. We're moving to unifications. Get through this next one, and we're going to Vegas or we're going to America. We're going to New York. We're taking concentration away from that now, and it's like let's just deal with one fight at a time. The next man in front of us is Takuchi. Not only that as well, I feel like you just go through motions at times. Not that I'm taking Galahad light, because that'd be ridiculous to do so, but when you know a formula to get you fit, to get you strong, to get your time in there, to get your sharpness, you just kind of just go through it. I think we just change things up a little bit just to shock the body, give the mind something different, something more challenging, and it's been a real good buzz to count this time round.
Are you looking for an emphatic finish in this one? After we're in the press conference the last one,
yeah,
your dad wasn't the happiest,
no.
Even though you did get the win. Frank highlighted, despite you may be disappointed, your dad being disappointed, you got the win.
Oh, he didn't speak to me for weeks, so they were fucking disappointed because I didn't listen to him. No, we want to be winning and want to be winning style. We champion coming again, defending your belt. Obviously, Takuchi got off with the fight, he took it. You want to be making sure that you beat these fellas and beat them in style. You look at any other champion in the division, if someone came into their backyard and they were just a voluntary, normally they'd take care of them. That's not to say that this is a given, but I don't want it to be a long, like close in between between rounds or like halfway through fight it were tight in the midsections. I don't want to be like that. I want it either to be dominating performance from start to finish, or if the opportunity's there, then I want to get him out there. There's been times where I've been guilty of just going for a walk when I've had people hurt, because I know that I want to just pace it, and one punch can change a fight. And this time round, if he's hurt, and I've got the power to do so, get him out there.
You've used the analogy of UFC delivering fights fans want to see, the best fighting the best all the time.
Yeah.
You used it again today. Do you think you could be one of the guys to sort of spearhead this happening in boxing a lot more frequently? Because you have been really vocal since you won the belt.
I hope so. I mean, there's things to be. It's easy to say it, isn't it? But I'm willing to show that in actions. I've already spoken about wanting to go and put my belt on the line against the other champions. It's as though once they've got that, that's their golden ticket, and they just want to string it out as long as possible. What about that? I mean, my first fight, you look at any other like UK champions, normally the first defence is a steady one, a coming home. Let's just get someone who stylistically in that great, and we'll give him a few weeks' notice, and you can look good in your first defence. And nah, never mind that. Fuck that. We were straight in there with Carl-Frampton, and then the second one was the mandatory Galahad. And like I say, it's what the fans want to see. What brings the fans they pay their hard-earned money when they get the opportunity to watch 2 big showcase fights. So if you can make other fighters do the same, that's a bonus. But if the world is another thing.
I just spoke to your dad then about the Gary Russell Jr. comments, which obviously have caused a massive stir online.
Yeah.
He says that's the fight that he wants for you next.
Yeah.
Do you agree with him on that one?
100%. Yeah, listen, it's if that can be made, then happy days. But
was that response was that the key into solidifying that fight for you as the one to make his comments, or regardless of that, is it his abilities as a fighter that's attracted you as well?
This is a challenge, just because it's a challenge, and the 2 other champions have gone up. Valdez, really and truthfully, I wanted Santa Cruz, because Santa Cruz was the top of the tree of the featherweight division, and I've said this many times, but he ranked number 1 by the Ring Magazine rankings. I'd made it number 2. I beat him, and I'm like the the fucking number one, the numero uno, because ranked by the Ring magazine, and I've got another shiny belt as well. Obviously he's vacated and moved up. Santa Cruz has moved up. I can't fight for them belts now because I'm not ranked in their organisation. Shakur Stevenson's in line to fight for WBO, and I don't know what's going to happen with the WBA, whether number 1 and 2 fight, or if they promote Kanshu to a super champion. I don't know, but he's the only one with the belt at this moment in time, and he's hungry for fights. I'm hungry for fights. It makes sense.
Josh, you mentioned your featherweight rivals moving up, and there has been that frustration to try and secure unification or a mega fight maybe over in the States at featherweight. Should all be well with this. Is there a possibility you could follow them up to super featherweight and pursue another belt there or a big fight there?
If we can't get something sorted after this next fight, and it's stringing along, and there's an option to go fight a Valdez or Santa Cruz at super feather, then yeah, I will do. We'll come back down to feather and take care of business like Lomachenko's doing, coming back down the weights. Just want to be part of the big nights. Like I said, there's no disrespect to Kuchi, and I'm not overlooking him whatsoever, but I want to be in the fights where your back's against the wall, where they've got you down on odds of 50-50. I want to be part of the big nights, and especially whilst going into my prime years now. Test yourself against the very best. Don't want to be in this spot forever. You want to make as much memories and much history as you can.
I just wanted to ask you about your mentality in training camp, Josh. Going into the Selby fight, you're an underdog. Going into the Frampton fight, you're an underdog. You were the favourite for Galahad, but it was what many still considered a very close competitive fight. You're going in now, third world title defence, as a big favourite. For you, is it still about treating it as if you are the underdog? What's the mentality change been?
You have to do that. You have to do that. It'd be a fool to not. It don't matter who's in the opposite corner, because they can change your whole life. He upsets Applecart on Saturday, then that's it. It's a long climb back up, and that's when I alluded to the snakes and ladders thing. You've got to keep on winning, you've got to keep on beating, otherwise you lose. It's a long road back down, or it's a long climb back up. Example, Carl Frampton got beat by Santa Cruz in 2017 in their rematch. You would have thought the third fight would have come a little bit sooner. He didn't fight for another 2 years for a world title, and that was against me. 3 hard fights down the line, so nothing's ever given him boxing, and the best opportunity and best chance you've got to get the big fights is by keeping winning, and that's been my motivation throughout.
You become a father and a world champion. How's your outlook on boxing and life changed?
I certainly don't think I'd be here as long as I first fought. When I turned pro, it was going to be 35, 36, try to go as high as I can, climb the ladder as high as I can, and when I start getting chinned, come back down. Try win British title again, kind of like what Ryan Rhodes did. But since having kids, that's changed everything. This sport takes a lot from you. Certainly takes a lot of sacrifice and time. And I know that other people have to do that in all walks of life, but I've been doing it for 21 years, all throughout, from being a kid right up until my age now. And you don't want to be just chasing the fights, chasing extra paydays, chasing another glory night. You've got to know when your time's up. And I look at other fighters from Leeds, from Yorkshire, who've had that one fight too many. That's when it becomes dangerous. That's when it starts having the lifelong effects. I've been getting punched to the head for a long time, and you look at your average man, or you talk to your average man, he might get a scuffle in a pub or in a nightclub, a few times a year, maybe more if he's in a bed. Might do a football, might fall over, missus might go past and slap on the head, but that's it. I'm taking a lot of trauma and punishment to the head on a weekly basis, especially when in camp, and it takes a lot from you. You look at recent deaths in boxing, and I'm putting a dampener on sport here, but it's a fantastic sport, but it does take a lot, and you've got to know when your time is to walk away. And I think I want to go for another 3 or 4 years at the highest level, and then I'll consider me, when the time's right to walk away from it.
Can I just get your specific response to the IBF for essentially potentially giving Galahad a second shot at your featherweight world title?
I have no words. No words really. It's diabolical, and I've always thought the IBF been fucking talking now, aren't I? Never mind, no way to cancel that bit out. I've always thought the IBF have been bang on with the, enforcing the mandatories, with a little, the £10 limit with the chip weighs day after. But like I look down the featherweight rankings, you have some guys like ranked like 7th or 8th who've been beaten, they've still not updated them, still not moved people on. Shakur Stevenson moved up and they didn't move the 1 and 2 at all, they just left him there. And all of a sudden, he's been beaten, he's back into a final eliminator. What happened to the 5 and 6? Because he got moved down to 8. What happened to them guys? Why didn't they get a chance? So, he's got to go and win that fight first and foremost, hasn't he? But if he's the last name on my radar. Like I say, I want to be part of the big names. I've took care of business with him. It was a scrappy, shite fight, and I got the win. And I know I'd won that fight. Regardless of what these fangirls or whatever say, I know I won that fight. And you just want to keep on testing yourself against the best.
If it came down to it, would you vacate to pursue bigger opportunities if it was Galahad made you mandatory, theoretically speaking?
Well, I'd like to think that by the time that comes around, we've already had something else sorted by then. So, yeah, we'll see what happens next year.